Other interesting business news, you have Volkswagen of America CEO is ousted with Porsche to come to the rescue. Well, specifically a Porsche executive, which again is all part of the big VW portfolio, where unfortunately Volkswagen is so bad at marketing and manufacturing cars in terms of the Volkswagen brand. These days, very few people actually own them. Don't get me wrong, I love a Golf turbo, I love a GTI with a turbo and stick shift, but that's pretty rare to see on the road these days, unfortunately. And yeah, the CFO of Volkswagen famously said they think they have 2 years before the brand is no longer viable. But again, the Volkswagen portfolio does have also things like Lamborghini, Porsche, Ducati, Bugatti. They got a lot of cool stuff over there. But yeah, the VW specific brand, it's in a little trouble. Now this comes to us thanks to Nico, who's a writer at The Drive, who says, quote, VW of America oust CEO after just 2 years. Now Porsche executive is in charge. A sales slump in the U.S. and EV projections haven't borne out exactly. Left departed CEO Pablo Desi in a tough spot. Oh. Here you can see, disgusting. Well, those VW EV buses that they're going to be making, which, yeah, talk about, I don't know who the hell's going to buy that. Well, 15 people in San Francisco. But yeah, I can't think it'll be like the Acura NXX, the new one. The old one was best. It was analog with a stick shift option and, pure gas engine. But I mean, in this case, there's so much hype. And with the NSX, why it partially failed in sort of the perspective of the US, the new one, well, there's so much hype for decades. By the time we get out, people are already buying they already bought the competing supercar. There wasn't as much appetite. For this, there's been speculation of a VW minivan or a bus or what they call the abomination this EV is for decades. And they're so late to the game. They also don't have really good research and development for EVs, which I think is a waste of money because, again, you lose money for so long and consumers are pushing back on it. They actually just invested $5 billion in Rivian, a competitor, so they got a little partnership going there. So it might just be a rebadged, bastardized Rivian that they slap a logo on. That's pretty common, actually, badge sharing in the auto industry. Now, dive into the article, and again, this is Kyle Gruner. He's the gentleman who's going to be taking over, suited up as all men should be. Now they say, well, it's been a tough year for Volkswagen Group. Globally, it's shutting down plants, losing market share, axing car models, and tossing out a CEO. Volkswagen America just announced that its CEO, Pablo Desi, is out effective immediately after just 2 years at the post. Repeating him is Kiji Gruner, who, apologize, I'm not purposely butchering that if that's not the pronunciation of his name. He will officially become CEO of Volkswagen America on December 12th. In the interim, Garrett Springler, the current chief human officers, will assume the role until Gruner steps in next month. Gruner had spent 25 years in the industry at several different brands. It seems VW wants his expertise and both legacy and upstart automakers. He's held management positions at Porsche, Daimler Chrysler, and Mercedes, and even president and CEO of Porsche North America. As it happens, Gruner is returning to the Volkswagen Group from Rivian, where he is currently the chief commercial officer. Not only does this give Gruner experience with a new electrical startup, but also might help develop growing partnership between Volkswagen and Rivian, which, I mean, pretty sure a big part of that partnership is here's $5 billion. That's a pretty good way to kickstart it. So there's going to be a lot of tech sharing between the companies. Now, they say that Kyle Gruner is absolutely expert in the U.S. market, says Gruner Killian, a VW AG Group board member for human resources. He spent over 25 years in the auto industry and has extensive know-how in exploiting and expediting growth opportunities in North America. Volkswagen AG is indebted to his predecessor, Pablo Desi. His outstanding commitment was of central importance in realigning our business in South America. He subsequently laid the foundation for positive development in North America strategy. Did he, though? I mean, do you want to go buy Volkswagen right now? If he was doing, that's a nice politically correct way of terming like letting an employee go, or they laid the groundwork. Really, has he? I don't think so. Now, they note that just last week, Rivian and Volkswagen announced a joint venture to build a cutting-edge. Sorry, this isn't supposed to be a joke. They say they're going to make cutting-edge software and electronics architectures, which, again, you can debate if Rivian is really an industry leader. I still think Tesla's leaps and bounds ahead of the competition. Though, of course, I would only get some of the 3 pedals, also known as stick shift, so not my preference. Now, know that VW invested $5 billion in that project, which has begun with software, but could eventually take on battery modules and other EV hardware. And you can see, is it Scout Motor? Yeah, you don't want to see that picture, Scout Motors EV. I also know that Volkswagen is in a confusing spot right now. It's hard to see the best way forward from the outside. While companies looking to shut down plants in Germany for the first time, not just 1 or 2, but 3, which, again, it's one of those things where I suspect that massive tariffs and intervention, China is going to take over the world with EVs. Because like electronics, they are very proficient at copy pasting, aka ripping off technologies and mass producing the hell out of them. Which, again, all these governments are forcing these companies to go down these EV paths where they're not competitive, and so I'm pretty skeptical. They know that this luxury arm Audi is suffering a sales dump. Well, yeah, because you killed the iconic R8, which used to come with a V10 and a stick shift, and a V8 option as well. Thank God there's some aftermarket conversion kits out there, some enthusiasts to make the car right, how it should have been from the factory for the later models, which are only automatic. But yeah, they say Audi is suffering a sales slump in the United States. It's about to launch. Oh, geez, Louise. Oh, yeah, that's why they want that picture. They're about to launch an electric SUV known as the Scout, which, yeah, doesn't look appealing to me. Now, despite all that, VW's U.S. business saw a 7% increase year-over-year sales in Q3 2024. And even though Audi sales dropped, they dropped 17% in Q3 this year, the entire Volkswagen group is still up 1.5% from last year. Now, but thank you, Porsche. Granted, I'm not a fan of the mass-produced SUVs. That is a lot of the profit revenue. That's where it comes from. So, yeah, I still don't see how VW is going to make it, though. I mean, I've interviewed in my interview show, Topping Talks, I've interviewed a couple of folks. I've met 2 people, I think, in the past 2 years who've owned a specific Volkswagen car. And don't get me wrong, I see them on the road every once in a while. Granted, it's small anecdotal evidence, being DFW or Texas. But, I mean, when I think of if I'm going to buy a new car, now don't get me wrong, if I won the lottery, shoot, yeah, I'd buy it wouldn't be a Volkswagen, it'd be part of the Volkswagen portfolio, it would be a Porsche. I mean, that'd be awesome. They still make a stick shift, like all cars should be by default. But yeah, I mean, the Volkswagen Jetta for decades. My dad had one. He liked it. It was pretty good. I mean, Volkswagen had a pretty good legacy of making affordable, economic, and used to be reliable cars. It really doesn't do any of those. So they really have to rely on the heritage of German engineering, which, I mean, at a certain price point, you just go into competitors. You got BMW, of course. But, I mean, what's a compelling business reason to buy a Volkswagen right now? Especially when they make less and less fun cars. I mean, they used to be known for fun cars, which, again, one of my friends has a stick shift. He loves that little Golf. He loves that little thing. Hot hatches are pretty cool. They can be a fun thing. He loves it. That's a small sample size. That's one friend. And yes, I do have more than one friend, so the sample size, I guess, isn't that small, technically speaking. But, like, I know 2 people who have VW vehicles. And again, what's the compelling reason to buy one right now? You know they're not as reliable. They're okay styling-wise, I suppose. But, yeah, I know it's going to cost a pretty penny to maintain. It's kind of bland styling, I'd argue, these days, unfortunately. I mean, let me know. I think that's the biggest issue. The issue is why. I mean, they used to be pretty cheap, or more affordable than competition. But, yeah, why buy Volkswagen right now? Now, again, I make the delineation. The Volkswagen Auto Group, the parent company, I mean, yeah, they make some awesome cars. They got Lamborghini, they got Porsche, they got Ducati motorcycles. They got some really cool stuff. But the VW specific brand, I think that's the big billion-dollar question. How do you save that company when you need a compelling reason to get it? It's not cheaper than competition. It's not easier to maintain the competition. It's not more fun to drive than the competition. They're in a tough spot, and I'm not sure how they're going to try to turn it around. They're saying, oh yeah, this EV Scout will make some money, which, and again, there's a market for EV SUVs. True. I don't think it's a mass volume market, and I don't think it's, I'm pretty skeptical to see when they're going to make a profit on those, because EVs take a long time to actually make a profit. Tesla being one of the few successful companies to actually make EVs profitably. It took them many years. So, I mean, let me know in the comments, what's the compelling reason? I mean, if you had to buy a new car right now, for your specific use case, what would you buy? And the odds are, why did you not think VW? I mean, I'm trying to think, when was the last time you would want, what, I don't even know if I would want one of these days. If I got one for free, perhaps, if it came with a maintenance plan, but let me know, do you think VW can turn things around? And do you know anyone who actually drives one? And again, I know the 2 friends I know who have them, they love it, but, well, one of them, it's actually funny that I say that, one was having reliability issues as we speak. But let me know your thoughts in the comments, because, as always, I'd be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in. Again, try to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So if you can click that button, I greatly appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment. It's a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make sure better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.